Hey guys, it's Sharon with Little Britain Company. Welcome to the channel. So yesterday I showed you this adorable little guy. I'm going to run through it real quick today, and then today we're going to make one. So it took me a while to create the design for this one, which is why we're back today to actually make it. So really quickly, I did not do anything to the back. I left it completely as is. This has this great little pocket on the outside. I like to call it my little hidden pocket. It's really nice and big. On the inside, you've got a little holder for whatever you want, but it could be something like a credit card or a gift card. You've got another pocket here. I've got a little journal piece in there. This one has double pockets, so you can put something long, including a list or some kind. Little journal card, and then I did add this just a simple little paper clip, and inside I have a very short little writing book. I love this little thing. So you can use this as a planner, which I may very well, or you can use it for a notebook or whatever you so choose. So I have been using the Santa Claus Lane paper from Echo Park, but I'm running out. So I decided that for this next one, I'm going to go ahead and use up something else that I need to use up, which is this Peace and Joy. This is from Recollections, and it's several years old. I wonder if the date's on here. The date's not on here, but I know that I got this a couple of years ago. So I thought maybe we could use it for this one. I'm going to dive right in. I'm going to grab one of my folders and get started. This folder I got from, I want to say I got this from Walmart. There are better quality folders out there. It's a Big Brit's home. He had to say hi. It is okay, but it's not as good a quality as some other ones out there. I just like my folders to be a little bit thicker, but this one worked out beautifully for what I was doing. So I am more than happy with that. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut this to 8.5 inches. I want to make sure I leave this within that 8.5 inches because I really want the tab there. This one I can't put my holder on at that stage. So, oops, yeah, I almost did it wrong. 8.5. No, I'm sorry, it's 8 3/4. Already I'm telling y'all wrong. It's 8 3/4. And as I said, I have watched so many videos on people doing this. So I do hold on to this. I do use this later. So I can't really attribute it to a single person. I watched a lot of different videos, and then I kind of adapted to what I thought I would like to make. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this to the inside right here. It's easier said than done. I'm going to I bought myself some new bone folders. Hopefully. There we go. And I may have to adapt it once I get these in, but I'll show you what I did get. My new bone folders. I wanted some Teflon some Teflon bone folders. These are made by Craft Treat. I thought I was ordering the Dress My Craft, but I guess I didn't. Anyway, these are the ones that I have picked up. It's a four count for, I want to say like $38. Okay, so now that I have it folded like that, I'm gonna refold it. I'm gonna fold this one to the middle. I'm gonna fold this one here. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty much where I want it to be. Just make sure that those are gonna come down. that's the base. That's just my overall base. Now for this one, I am going to go ahead and round some corners here just because I like that look. I'm going to leave this one as is. It's just impossible to round. But the other ones, this is the only one I didn't do on the last one, and I really wished that I had, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of that right now. Here we go. Get those off. And honestly, as quick as that, we're ready to rock and roll. And you've got, I mean, this isn't even the heaviest quality file that you can get, and this is heavy duty. So, I mean, sometimes we'll make albums and things with heavy duty cardstock. This is even heavier, but it's short of being chipboard. So, I really do love using folders, file folders when I'm making and doing stuff. So, see, I do really like that cornered look. Having said that, this little bitty corner right here is going to bug me. So I'm just going to do that. Yeah, that looks okay. I'm not going to bother with that one. It doesn't bother me down below, but because of where it was hitting right there, I wasn't liking it. So, okay. So we are good to go. I'm actually going to trim that up just a wee bit. I want it to be a little bit more rounded. There, I think I got it. Look how easy this is. This is so easy. Okay, so with the last one, when I put this piece together, and the truth is you really don't have to. You could leave that open and you could make it more of an accordion if you wanted to. I personally am going to go ahead and seal this piece off. But again, you got a whole nother one going if you make it into an accordion. It would be so cute. So with the last one, I did my glue here and here, so I had this really nice big side pocket. There is another reason I wanted that kind of hidden pocket, and the short reason is I can put a longer list in there, or it's easier to hold multiple receipts like that. Because I find that, I do like to hold on to my receipts. Sure, nobody ever returns what I buy them. Sorry. Actually, these days, probably not as much. When my eldest was younger, he would sometimes return stuff. Usually not, though. But it's nice to have a place to put those receipts, especially if you're just trying to keep track. So it's a really nice, bigger pocket than you normally get. And you get almost the length. And that's, what is this, 8.5 inches? Let me double check. It is 8 3/4. So this is 8 3. Of course it's 8 3/4. I'm the one who cut it. Pay no attention to the woman behind the screen. Sorry. All right. I mean, so easy. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually I'm ready to start cutting paper and attaching. So excited. So if you want to, I'm about to look through my paper and make decisions, paper choice decisions. If you want to skip ahead and just see what happens once I start cutting, please feel free to do that. My feelings will only be a little bit hurt. just a little bit hurt. So this is one-sided paper, and I'm pretty sure I've been using from this stack already. I really do like that. I need to find a big sheet to do with these. I think those are great. So I've got bows. Bows are really in right now, so I'm probably going to use some of that. We've got, I think I was using this in one of my last ones. Some of these papers. I love this. I'm kind of wondering if I could use, I might make a pocket out of that, but for right now I'm going to put it aside. So this one is nice. The green stripe is nice. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 sheets, because back here I'm going to do my my little notebook. So, and with the last one, I did not bother to cover this, but I did use paper for the notebook. So I think 5. And once again, I'm going to leave that blank. I'm not going to worry about this back one. The only time I would cover it is if I'm going to put an attachment on. Oh, I like that. One's cute. So I have 3. Let's see. This one had a lot of bigger ones. These are cute, but they are big. Good golly. Here's another bow one. That's a maybe. I love that. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that top part. I think I even know where I'm going to use it. So that's 4. I like this one. That would be 5. I'm going to go ahead and pull these 2 cut aparts, and I'm going to cut them apart because I think I'm going to use them. Let me see if there's anything else in here that I like that. I do like that quite a bit. So I'm going to start. All right, so I love this one. I'm going to leave it for right now. I love that one and this one. I've already used some of that clearly. We've got this big. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. I may use these because of the way I have this set up. Oh, okay. I'm thinking belly pin. All right, let me put this one aside. You just put that one to the side. I've got a little spot where I put my stuff when I'm doing them. And decide on what the front cover will be. I like my front covers to be a fairly simple design. And I am thinking about, I really like the Just For You. That is really cute. If I use Just For You on the outside, okay, then what do I want to put? See, I was thinking about doing this one, but if I use Just For You, that's not going to work. I don't know. I'm kind of going back and forth with this one, guys. What if I do bows there, and then I could do this Just For You with a red backing. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay, so this piece, move these out of the way for a minute. So this piece here, I'm not going to measure to this part. I don't want to include this file piece because I'm just not going to cut around it like that. So what I need to do is just sort of measure what this is going to be. And I believe, so it's all going to be the 8 3/4, and I'll measure from that. But this one is going to be, I've got to do my squares here. 1, 2, 3. This one is 3 3/4. So this inner part is 3 3/4. So let me get one of my little stickies here. If I can get it up. I have this cute little sticky pad, but I got to get the first one. I think you have to do it this way. I think the first time you... I hope I'm right about that. All right. Yes! Worked perfectly. Okay, so my first numbers. Okay, so you know that cut your file to 8 3/4 and fold, and you have to really look at move this whatever. You have to really be looking at the folder to see, that you have to fold in half. Okay, and then the outside, so your cover, that one is going to be, I'm going to create a mat for the background just to offset it a little bit. I don't know which one I may continue to use white. I've been enjoying using that white background. It kind of makes things pop. So the mat, so the outside cover is 3 3/4 by 8 3/4 approximately. So the mat needs to be 3 5/8 by 8 5/8. And then my printed inside of that is going to be 3 1/2 by 8 1/2. That should be right. I had one of you wonderful people asked about cutting directions for a different project, and at the time I just really was not prepared, but I'm trying to get you all better cutting directions. So I'm just going to grab some of my white here. I will say this is this white is from Michael's, I believe. But the ones that I just recently bought, the packs of white that I recently bought at Ollie's, are very nice quality. I pulled those out and I was going to use them, and I realized they were super thick, so, which made me really happy. But I'm not going to use those. Oh my goodness, I'm dropping stuff. Look at that. Just throwing things around. Okay, so I'm going to cut this down to the 8 let's see, my first, for my mat, it's going to be 8 5/8. And that's going to be right about there. No, I'm going to cut it this way first. I'm going to do my 3 3/4, 3 5/8 first. I always try to conserve my materials and figure out what's going to leave me the biggest chunk. And I believe that's going to do it. Put that one aside. Now I'm going to do my 8 5/8. And I'm going to take a quick look here. Yep. And we're going to deal with that corner in a little bit, but we do have to deal with the corner. Okay, so that is that outer piece, and then this inside printed piece, this is going to be 3 1/2 by 8 1/2. There's my 3 1/2. Make sure I get it right there. That aside. I may use that again later on in the book. I'll see. By 8 1/2. And I'll put that one away for just a few minutes. I'm going to have to keep going back to it because I'm using bigger chunks of paper. So, let's see how that looks. Now, I will say, if you all been following me for a while, you know that I generally do not like to do my covers first. I usually don't. I usually save my covers and do them last. But I'm inspired. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. I mean, I'm looking for a pencil that works. Okay, I am kind of inspired. So to make this corner exactly the way I need it, the exact shape that I need it to be, I'm just going to, you can see I've kind of lined that up properly. I've lined this guy up. There we go. And I'm just going to trace them. And then let's see, this one, I need this to be that lower corner. And so I'm going to, you see, I flipped it around so that I was going to get the correct corner. So be careful about that, because if it's directional and you cut the wrong corner, then you cut the wrong corner. Okay, so to make these work properly, I'm just going to go ahead and cut this little guy. I feel like I'm so far away from you. I'm going to try to move in just a wee bit so y'all can see some of what I'm doing better. Is that right? I should have done it the other way, but it's okay. I can erase this. I can do it. I'm going to use my art one. This is brilliant. This one will actually erase. It does not leave residue behind. So many of the erasers that we use leave some residue, and this one works on glue. Honestly, Dollar Tree, $1.25. So worth it. All right, so that one's going to go like that. I just want to make sure I put that on the right before I cut. Let me just check. Because you can see if I had done that on this one, that would have been a disaster. Okay. That should be about right. So then these two are going to be... So I've got that nice corner, so when I put it on, I salvage just the intent of, if that makes sense, sort of the look of the actual folder. The integrity. That's the word I'm looking for. Integrity. Sorry, I just got quiet. I know that the microphone needs me to actually speak. Sorry. And then I bark out my laughter. It's just the way I laugh. I'm so sorry. I do have kind of a barked out laughter. Okay, so let me get this guy on there. I'm going to get this pretty much. And cute. All right, I'm already kind of happy with this one. So again, this paper is from, honestly, I bought it on clearance a few years ago, maybe, probably 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. Nope, it was 3 years ago. And by then it was probably already a couple of years old. So whoever used the bows back then was looking into the future, I gotta say. Okay, let me see if I got that on there right. This is what I do to see if I get things right. When I'm using this, color on color, I try to keep an extra piece of an opposite color. So if it was white, I'd use black, or honestly any other color. And for something like this, I'm just going to put a little white piece behind it. Oh my golly, I love this. Oh, wow. Where has this been all my life? Holy cow. So now I know why everybody has those. I'm like a kid in school. All the other kids have it. Now I know why. I've been seeing other salivating over this. Everybody else has one. Okay. Cute. Ah, sorry. So excited. I'm going to go ahead because I just want to see how this is going to look on there. Oh, I think it's going to be really cute. I think it's going to be really, 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 really cute. I get so excited. Okay. Let me see if I can get this. I never get these exactly right. Do y'all ever get these exactly right where you don't have a little bit hanging over? That should be. All right, move that one out of the way. Ooh, kind of. I got this one okay. Just when I say never. It's really got to be right on the line. Let's see. See, never, never. Can you see that little black right there? So I was close, but not quite. By that tiny shaving. Okay, and I didn't even get the whole thing. Look at that this side. Oh my golly. I think I was holding tight enough, but that's going to be okay because I probably didn't even need to do what I just did. I did not need to make it perfect, and here's why. I'll show you. I'm going to use my die cut machine, and I'm going to cut this out. Look how cute that is. So once I cut this out, ooh, I might do Let me see how that would look. Let me grab some of my red here. Let's see if I had this on red with maybe a little bit of gold behind it to really make it pop. I know I've got some gold here somewhere. 1 minute. Okay, this is how I keep like pieces. So I can go back to them. I don't think I've got a big enough piece of gold, but I can at least take a quick look and see. I like that. And it brings out this gold. Okay, let me get my die cut. Okay, so I pop back in again. So I found this great gold and I found my die cuts. So I have these, but I think I'm going to end up using this series, and I got to make sure that I have the ones big enough. For 3 of them? I don't know. Would that be... Oh, just... Okay. I'm going to get these ready, but I think I'll be able to do that. Yeah, but that's going to be too big for the book. So I have to decide. I can do 2. I can do the gold. But this third one's just going to be too big. They're not tight enough to be... All right, so that would be there. That would actually be kind of big. That one would be smaller. So I might just go with the squares and just bring it down a little bit, because these are just going to be, I thought these would be really cute. Maybe I'll just do this one. Let me see. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so I've got these ready to go. I'm going to try it. If it doesn't work, I've got more of all of it. I can do a different design, but I do want to try it. I want to see if it works. Okay. Here's my lovely Sizzix. Keep it stored with this like that. Okay, so I want to start by getting this one kind of exactly where I want it and all completely on the paper, I think. That looks pretty centered to me, so I'm going to grab a wee bit of washi tape here. Preferably without moving anything. Okay. Looks good. There's that one. Let's see if I can make this one work. Oh, this piece is slightly too small. Maybe. Because of where it cuts. No, it's too small. Let me grab another piece of gold, sort of a bigger piece. I do think that this is going to be the right size. So let me do a little quick cutting. gold aside. I love that gold. All right, make sure. I do try to, like I said, I try to conserve as much as I can, because you never know when you need a little snippet of gold. All right, now we should be good. Now we should be perfect. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I have my hair down, and if you've seen me in the previous videos, you know I have kind of long, thick hair, and in the summertime, I like my longer hair, so I did have it cut short, not on purpose, but it was cut short. Much earlier this year. Mostly it's grown out. But it's hot, man. It's like having a blanket. Those of you with long hair. Ooh. I will tell you, I once bought, this is really enjoying going over this, isn't it? I once bought one of these plates from Temu. Never again. It literally, I'll show you. First time I used it, that's what happened. Cracked right through. So, never again. Okay, let's see what we have here. Oh, this is so cute. Actually, I'm going to keep that because I might use that as trim. And I do use, it's very cute. I do use things. I'll reuse this, and I just stick it to the, that came out really cute. All right, so y'all tell me what you think. Let me get this out of the way. Put that back in there. Oh, not like that. That'll break my boards. Put that in the middle. And back up here. Without knocking anything off. There we go. So it's cute, but I have to say that gold is big. I wish that there was a size between these two sizes, because that is quite the frame. But what do you guys think? Do we like it, or do we think it's just too big? I'm kind of going back and forth. Like I said, I was hoping that it would be closer. My washi tape's trying to roll off. Let me think about that. Well, looking at this, I feel like it is cute, but I think that this is just overpowering and it's just too big. So I will use it for something else. I don't think that's going to be problematic. But I'm just going to use sort of a straight square behind this one. So my only question is, I'm going to do that on this side. I'm just going to test something. Is that going to look cuter? Yeah. I'm going to round the corners on these. Okay, let me get this one done. I am going to use some of my lovely tape, some of my tear tape on this because of the shiny gold. So I should have put the tear tape on before I cut. Then I would have had it all the way across. this. I have to, my first day, I have to go to work tomorrow because I'm on the leadership team. But, and July 17th, guys. But I also, our first actual day for teachers to be back in school is going to be August 1st. That is just killing me. I feel like it's been no time at all. Oh well. Okay. And I am not adding anything to this. Let's go ahead and cut this one down. Let's see how we're doing on this side. I like to, oh, that's actually sweet. That's, I wasn't sure if it was exactly right. My eye doesn't always tell me correctly sometimes, and that is just such a bother. Feel a little bit like Winnie the Pooh. Oh, bother. Okay, so I've got that one. I'm going to do the quick corner. Did that corner have really? Okay. Quick corners. Actually, I think that's turning out really well. And then, cute. So the final question is, do I put a red one behind it? And do the same thing. I am going to do the red behind it. I feel like it just needs that extra, that just tiny bit extra. And I don't think, oh, actually, this piece is perfect. It is practically perfect. Look at that. Huh. Thought I was going to have to get another one. All right, let me line this one up. I'm going to work on just lining up these two edges because I know that I can fix the other ones. Come back here. My glue pen is running away. And I'm just going to go simply over there. I will say I eyeball a lot just because I'm lazy. I'm just lazy. So this one goes, all right. Yeah, that's just me being lazy. Yep. That's pretty good. That one just needed to be straightened up. And we're going to do our little quick corners. Do always make sure that your corner is all the way in there. And sometimes, and pardon me for the noise, I do this. And sometimes that just helps it seat better. I don't know whether it just gets kind of gunky or, you know, whatever it is. But if I just slam it down every once in a while. All right. That's cute. All right, I'm liking that. Let me go ahead and put this one on. I have a thought about what I might want to add to it for a final touch, but I'm going to go ahead and move to the inside next. go. Ooh, oh no, don't do that. Just have to remember. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to move to the inside. So these dimensions are the same as we have on our little sticky note here. So these dimensions for the inside cover, these are going to be the same. This side is not. It's going to be the length is the same, but the width, I believe, is 4.5. So we're going to have to do that one a little bit differently. Okay, so let's figure out what I'm putting on the inside. So I think for the inside, I'm going to do this on this side, and I'm going to mirror what I did with the other one. So I'm going to put a stripe on this side. And again, I'm going to back these up with the white paper. So I don't need to measure for the first one. I know that my mat is going to be, let's see, I think I'm going to cut a fresh sheet because I think I'd rather hold on to that one and make sure I can use it for the next couple of pages. Let me get this out of the way. Things start to pile up. You'll know how it is when you move things out of the way for a minute. And okay, so this is going to be, the mat is 5 3/8. Nope, the mat is 3 5/8. Did that completely backward, didn't I? 3 5/8 by 8 5/8. Good thing it's written down. And I'm definitely going to keep this little piece. This is perfect for a little journal card. Okay. While I've got those out, I think I'm going to go ahead and do my mat for this one, which is, yeah, this is 4.5. Yep. This piece is 4.5. So I'm going to go ahead for these two internal sections, this one and this one. That is, the internal is 4.5 by 8 3/4. So the mat for those will be 4 3/8 by 8 5/8. And then your print, if you choose to go all the way to the bottom, let me show you something that I did with this one. I used this full piece that goes all the way to the bottom, but I didn't have enough of this one, so it only goes to about here. And then I had this other sheet. And when you're doing it this way, works fine. There's no reason you don't have to use a whole sheet. If you choose to use a whole printed sheet on the internal, that would be 4 1/4 by 8 1/2. So totally up to you guys. And then as far as the pocket, that is going to be personal preference. I'll show you what I do, but that is the measurement for these. So let me go ahead, and I've got that pocket, and I'm going to go ahead and do these two. And we said the mat is 4 3/8, which should be right there. So 4 3/8, 4 3/8, and then 8 5/8, which I can't do on there. So let me get these nice and tight. 8 5/8. And again, I'm gonna put those away for journaling cards. I actually use these. I keep these strips, these white ones, because they're really nice for printing out little sentiments, you know, if you want to do a small one. Okay, so I put this away for a minute. It does help that I've got some of that ready to go. But I'm going to work on the inside for, I should have cut the other paper down. Oh, silly me. It's just perfect. So I got to remember how to do this. But if I do it like this, I don't know why this one isn't working. My brain isn't working for me right now. I have to kind of do it on opposite ends, but I'm going to do the same thing that I did on that last one. And I put my pencil down. There it is. So just getting that one. So I keep that integrity. And then I'm going to go ahead and do, this makes me so happy, this piece. I think with the stockings at the top, it's just adorable. So the internal, this one's going to be 3.5. Right there. It almost looks like you could make a list directly from this. I think you could. I might take some of this, and I think I still have, well, I have that sheet. I might have another sheet. This would be so cool as just a list. You know, honestly saying that, I may not make changes to this one. We'll see. Okay, so this is going to be 8.5. So my length here is 8.5. Get that out of the way. So cute. I know what I did wrong here. Okay, so I'm going to cut it over. I'm going to turn it over like this, so I can trace this little section, which is what I should have done with that one. Okay. This is super cute. And I might actually change around some of the things that I'm doing. I'll tell you all in a few minutes. I'll show you in a minute. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do this so I don't have to worry about erasing. Because this is what I should have done. My brain was not functioning properly. But no biggie. So, and again, you can change this if you want to. You could always cut this down a little bit so that you're cutting off that section. It doesn't have to be this exact size. I like it that way. That's just me. But there are ways that you can do it. Or you could just cover it up, not even cut it at all, but just make your paper straight across it. So if you're doing double, you know, you're doing the matting and then you're doing this, that would hide a lot of it. So, get this one. So, all right, so I'm going to have this and this. Cute. So stinking cute. And you can see right there that once again, we've cut around that section. And so it'll fit in there like a glove. Okay, I do. Some people like to put their paper in and then attach it to the paper. This is just my process. I do it this way. I like to go ahead and put my pieces together and then add them in. Mostly. There. Shoot. Now, make sure when you're putting this in that you're not reaching that fold. That is pretty important. So where we've scored, we do not want to put anything. We also don't want to glue our hands, but we don't want to put anything over the score mark or you won't fold properly. So stinking cute. Okay, now let me show you what I did for this inner pocket. It's pretty super easy. I just used this. So I went ahead and decided that I wanted to use some of this, and I cut it. I think I cut that one to 4 inches. I'm going to cut this one to about there to start with. Let's see how far up that is. That's going to be about 4.5 inches. I might cut it to 5, and I'll show you why in a minute. There's a reason. There's a method to my. There's always a method to my madness, or there's madness in my method. I mean, truly, it's one or the other. Okay, get that one out of the way. So I'm going to do this one at. Let's do the 4.5 inches. I think 4.5 is fine. And it does leave me these 2 pieces, and I don't think I used those. Yeah. I will end up using these. I did not use these other pieces, but I will end up using these as journaling cards because they are so nice and stiff. Just kind of perfect. So I've got this cute little pocket right now. So the next thing I did was I went over here and I lined up my pocket, and you've got to be really careful here because it's the wrong size for this. But if you center it pretty much perfectly, or as perfectly as you can get it, and you hold on tight, then you get something that comes out pretty well. I just feel like I should have a use for this, but I don't. Not yet. Maybe I do. Maybe I just figured it out. Wouldn't that be a really cute photo corner? That would be so cute as a photo corner. Okay, let me put that aside because now I thought something to do with them. And okay, so I like to go on the inside, and this is total eyeballing. A little bit more. You gotta be careful with this stuff because there we go. I'm gonna go on this side. I want it to go a little bit down. That's pretty good. This one's gonna need it. If I keep trimming it though, I'm gonna make a mess. So That is pretty good. Yeah, be careful not to get caught up in your own trimming, because it'll make a mess. It will make a mess. All right, so cute. I'm just going to take one of these little cards from earlier and put it in the background, and that just kind of makes that pop. Now, there are other ways you could do that. You could ink it. That would be really cute. You could put another color behind it or something else. I am just going to use this. You know why? Because it's easy. It's so easy. All right, so I'll do it this way. I'm going to pretty much do a little eyeballing here again. Move that out of the way. And okay, let's attach this. Quick and easy. Oh my goodness, what's on there? Okay, cute. Oh, I think I should have done that. I wish that I had rounded the corners. If I do it now, it's not going to be rounded the way I like, which is an internal corner. I'm going to keep it this way, but I think in the next time I do this, I'll try to remember to round the corners. So I'm just going to put a bead of glue there and a bead of glue here. And that should give me the perfect space for my pocket. Now I don't have any stickers that go with this like I use with the other one. Now we'll see whether I need them. Oh, I think that's really cute. This is almost like a present under the tree. Okay, so I'm going to bring it kind of right about there. Sometimes things just come together. What I think is funny is how long it sometimes takes me to show you guys. I'm like, oh, this should be really good and quick. And it is quick in its own right, but there's very little that's quick. I sew, and I sometimes watch people who say, you know, a 15-minute project, and I'm like, it's not, though. It's not. You know, maybe it's 15 minutes if somebody pre-cuts everything for you. So, in all honesty, this is how long it takes. But worth it. Now, if you're making these for a, if you're doing a craft fair and you put together a really nice assembly line, choose everything ahead of time, you can make this go so much faster if you're doing assembly line type thing. Okay, so we've got those. Oh, so cute. My next paper, I'm going to go ahead and use this beauty. Now we already have which I've now lost. There it is. So I already have the white paper for the background cut, and we said this is going to be quick and easy. This is going to be 4 1/4. I'm going to measure. I have to measure at least twice. There we go. That should be 4 1/4. I feel like this paper is off. Let's try it this way. That's better. Okay, so we've got a 4 1/4 by 8 1/2. And we'll take a look at this before. I have a very nice piece left. Okay, so I do have a little issue here, maybe. No, that's okay. It's gonna be tight, but before I do anything, I need to make sure that I corner. That is the easiest thing to forget, guys. So all right, so I took a little break there and I am back, and I did a little bit of cutting while I was gone just so we can go straight to the making. So I went ahead, oh, that's not good. Gotta seat that properly. There we go. So I went ahead and made the pocket. I did not mean to do that. It's okay. I did both sides. I'm just going to do this little side, but I'm going to leave the other one straight because the other one, that'll be fine. There we go. That'll be okay. Yeah, that's cute. All right, so I've made this up, and then I made my pocket to go on top, and I've cut most of my other pieces, so they're approximately ready. I'm going to move this out of the way for a minute and go ahead and attach everything. So we already had the dimensions for this, and they're pretty much going to be the same dimensions, at least for the main mat and the main piece. They're not just pretty much going to be the same. They're going to be exactly the same. So when we do the back pieces, the white piece will match this one. I'll tell you those in a minute. Okay. So let me try to get this one. That's not bad. Okay, that one's done. Now the pocket. And honestly, the pocket's about 3 by 4, but it could be anything you want it to be. I mean, it can be whatever you so choose. And I'm just going to go ahead and, that one fits exactly on top of my stripe here. You know, something I didn't pick. I did like the separation here, so I'm going to see if I have, put this back in here. I'm going to see if I have a piece that can go there. So somewhere in here, there's very little of this left that I can do anything but bags with. Or, well, I guess I could do something besides bags. Okay, so I've got some cute little ones here. What can give me a nice little separation? That would be cute, but there's just too much curvature there. These are adorable, but they're not long enough, or they're too long. Yeah, Jingle All the Way is just slightly too long, and the Oh What Fun and Oh So Jolly is too short, so big no to those. What do you think? Maybe just this black Merry Christmas? We could do this black repetition of Merry Christmas. That's kind of cute. All right, let me grab one of these. And let's get the chopping. So, I am going to try, I'm so terrible at this part, to get this about as even as I can. And leave if I can't get it exactly even, then I will end up having to trim, and that's hard to do for me. I mean, that one's pretty close, but I think it blends in too much. I'm going to go ahead and cut all these down, and then we can take a look at them. Okay, chop those down. I think I did an okay job with almost all of them, except until I got to the very end. So let's move that over. Oh my word, it got stuck. There we go. So I'm kind of leaning towards this one. That would kind of cut off there, though. I know. We've got this one. That gold is a little bit nice. And there's this very simple one. It's actually one of the best ones. This one, oh, my cut is so off. And you don't get enough of the all is calm, all is bright. That's a big no. Actually, that's kind of cute right there. I like the way it brings in the other red, so I'm going to go with that one right away. I am going to go with that one. Okay. And I'm just going to turn it over and measure it out right there. And then I'm going to knock some stuff over. Yeah. That's about par for the course. What did I knock over? I suppose nothing important. Let's see how that measures up. Oh, it's really close. I'm going to do... No, I think that's good, actually. Okay. Let me go ahead and attach this piece. And... I'm putting it right at the top of that pocket, so it really kind of becomes one with the pocket. I like that. Okay, and now I'm going to attach this. This would be pages 1, and this is page 2. So they're big. Again, I'm going to try to line it up kind of close. Not too close. There we go. Cute. Okay, those 2 pages are about done. Now for my next pages, I move this stuff over. Okay, my next pages. This is going to be the same as this one as far as the main numbers for it. So this one is, that's the pockets. The inside, this is the inside one. So your mat is 4 3/8 by 8 5/8, and your print is 4 1/4 by 8 1/2 for this side. So that's going to be, just have to find the right ones. I think it's this one. And I've already cornered this one. And then my next top piece, yeah, should be this one, but it's way too big. Why is it way too big? What the heck? So this should be by 8.5. Let me see. Let's see what I did wrong. Golly, it happens all the time. Let me move these out of the way real quick. It's getting late at night again, and I actually have to go to work tomorrow, which, oh. Okay. So my print, this should be 4 1/4, which should be there. Oh, this is way off. I think I was using the other dimensions. I was using the matte dimensions instead of the print dimensions. Let's fix that. That is 4 1/4 by 8.5. Now let's take another look. That's better. Gracious. Okay, so I've already done my corners here, and then for this one, I need to make sure that I corner on this side, on the left hand side, instead of the right hand side. And on goes. Big Brit just snuck up behind me. Luckily, I kind of felt him there.
Hi, honey.
Hi. Or else you all would have had a very funny screaming.
That would have been hilarious, actually.
Yeah.
There'd have been a bit of screaming, then I'd have been going, ow!
Yes, you would have. He's exactly right. First I'd be screaming, then he would. Okay. So this is going to be one of those that I actually do go ahead and put it on before I put the pockets on, really only because the pockets on this one are a little bit different. So I don't need to do the whole thing. I like to make sure that I get this stuff down. Okay, and there we go. See if I get that in there. Make sure, yep. Just want to make sure that I've got that in there right. Cute. And it's become so, I cannot explain how sturdy this is at the moment. Okay, so my double pocket, I decided to use this black. I actually don't use much black in what I do. And this, the rest of this, I'm probably going to put aside for Halloween. But for this one, I am not. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead, mark where I'm going to cut. I'm going to end up with 2 of those that are exactly the same. So this is, we're now working on page 3. So this is the double pocket, and these are 4 by 3 and 3 7/8 and 2 by 2 7/8. Let me grab this. Like I did with the other ones, I'm going to go ahead and back this up on the white paper here. I'm going to go ahead, do this, because these are the same. I was thinking I should have Christmas carols playing in the background. But you could, pretty much anything I play is going to cost me the monetization for this thing. You have to be very, very, very careful about what you play. Okay. So let's take a look. That's cute. It's a little bit bigger than the last one. So I've got that one. And this one, I think that one's going to be the internal. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to round just my top sections. Sorry, that was one of those. I think it gets like tiny bits of paper in there. I just realized this one did not cut properly. Now it has. There we go. So that's going to be that one. And then I'm going to do this one. Make sure it seats properly. Because if it doesn't seat properly, it's going to be a pain. Okay. Now, I probably let my glue dry. This stuff dries super fast. Yep. Oh boy. 1 second. Okay. Crisis averted. Okay, so get that one. And I'm gonna get that about as centered as I can. And then this one. Again, I'm going to try to get it pretty similar as far as the other one. Now, so my trick here is just, I am going to eyeball it. I'm just not going to worry about exact spaces. That looks about good. For this top one, I am just going to do this. So I only did the 2 sides on that one. And so this next one, I am going to go all the way around. So the buck stops here, so to speak. And I want that, oh, I did the wrong. Okay, let me fix this. I did the wrong side. So I don't want Let me fix this one. Don't really have a lot of extra paper. And I don't want to lose this piece. So I'm going to use a trick that Carolina taught me. I don't think this is what she intended it for, but I'm using it for this anyway. I am going to do this. And not only will it help things go in smoothly, but okay. Let's try that again. But it'll stop it from having to go from gluing it together. All right, is that's so much better. So I've seen Carolina with Carolina Crafts take a piece of tape on the bottom of her pocket to help things go in more smoothly. Okay, so far so good. Next is my final piece, which is going to be my back notebook. So I already cut this piece. Now this is my notebook, page 4. So for page 4, my booklet, it's going to be 8 3/4 by 5 5/8. So think about your orientation. This is 8 3/4, and I just fold it in half. For my inside papers, I'm going to bring them down a little bit. So I didn't put those numbers on here. Where can I fit those numbers? I guess I get one more. I get one more of these. I really like that thing. I've never had that. Okay, so that's page 1, page 2, page 3. And so my booklet pages, they're going to need to be 8 1/2 by, no, 2/4 is 1/2. I'm going to bring that down by 1/8. That's not going to be 1/2. It's going to be 5/8. Yeah, that's right. And then this one's going to be 8 1/2. Math. Okay, so my pages for my book. I bought this at Hobby Lobby during their big sales. For all I know, they still have it. I'm just going to use 2 pages from this. These are very nice sketch pages. So people can use this as a sketch pad. Someone could use this as a sketch pad or a planner. I mean, I'd use it as a planner, but you know, that's just me. So the first thing I need to do is get rid of this. Let me move this book right out of the way. Everything has to be out of the way. Okay. So I'm going to try to cut just over that perforated edge, get that out of the way. And then I said these have to be 8 5/8 by 8 1/2. I'm going to go ahead, since it's already in here and holding, this is my 8 1/2. Get those out of the way. And then 8 5/8. This is almost a square. Okay. So these, I am going to do pretty much what I did with the last one. With the other piece, I am going to try. I'm gonna try. This should be right. Let's see if I got it right. Not quite. Probably because I'm trying to do two at once, but let's hope I got that. That is pretty darn close. So when I put it inside, I'll flip it this way. When I put it inside, cute. All right, so I've got my booklet almost ready. And boy, is it close. It's okay. All right, booklet. I'm going to get fancy. I'm going to go ahead and corner. I'm going to corner this. Yeah, I'm going to corner this. And I'm going to corner all of my papers. I am not going to quarter this back because this is going to be glued down. I'm just not going to bother with it. So I'm going to do these 2 at a time. Because I think 4 would be too many. I don't think mine's cute little puncher. This is my favorite punch ever. And no, I'm sorry, I do not know where I got it from. Okay, so that part's done. It's so cute. All right, now I'm gonna put it in here and I am going to use, I have this, no, that's the wrong one. That is the wrong one. I have, where's my skinny one? This one. So I have this little punch. Now, a lot of you I know have the cropper, and that works too. So I'm going to kind of flat. I want to make sure it's exactly where I want it to be, which is why I'm kind of keeping it partially open like this. And then I'm going to flatten it out once I get it kind of where I want it to be. Right about there. I want it center. And guys, I am seriously just going to eyeball this. So there are some things that I would probably measure. And this is not going to be one of them. Okay. So that's done. I am going to grab a little bit more of this great twine. If I can find the end of it. Good gracious. All right. Here's a little bit. Let me make sure I can get some of it. That's plenty. Now, I have these ridiculous plastic needles, but they are perfect for what I am doing here. So I'm going to go down this one and again, I am not spending crazy amounts of time on this. I'm going to bring that together because that should be more than enough space. I'll bring that up a little bit. Okay. Now, this part's harder just because I like to keep it taut, but not too tight. So in order to do that, there. All right. Let's cut it right there. And there's a couple of different things you could do to make sure that this doesn't unravel. I think I'm going to just do a dab of glue, quite frankly. I'm just gonna dab it. Keep that together. Same thing with this one, and I just am using my fingers to make that a little bit like that. I'm gonna leave that for just a second. And clean it off my bottle. Okay, here we go. Now those are gonna be sticky for a minute. So, just gonna look through this for a second. I'm gonna grab my stickers from my other Santa Claus and see if those would work for this. So this is all I have left from this one. It is not a lot. I have just like a couple of big-ish pieces. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of pieces of this. This is like parchment paper for cooking. Almost wax paper. You can get it at the Dollar Tree or someplace like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Just for right now. Mostly because I don't want to wait it out to ensure that the glue is completely dry. So, and I don't want those to unravel on anyone. This is my next best option until those are done. Okay, so I am also going to take a quick look at, I've got all these really cute stickers. Do I have anything I want to put right about here? Let's see. I've got a stocking. That's cute. Although I think continuity-wise, that stocking might go well there. It's so little though. Or will it go better? Right there. Cute. Okay, so for this side, what do I want to put on there? Wonder if, no. Those should fit anywhere, and yet they are not. I am just going to do a nice little flower piece here. And again, I'm going to burnish this down. I do not want anything coming off. I don't want anybody coming back and saying my product was not amazing. All right, so I don't know that I want to put anything here or here. It really speaks for itself. I mean, the only thing I can think of is I could do something like this in each section. That might be cute. But let me get this other one. So I have these. That's going to be too big. Do not. There. Thank goodness. So I'm going to cut around this a little bit. Cut that one off. And I don't know. I think these lights are adorable, but I can't seem to find the right place for them. I keep looking. Okay. So maybe I'll do something from over here. Let me look and see if I can find something. Okay, so from the strips, I found this really cute piece. I am not going to have it go all the way across only because I don't like the way it's going to cut that piece off. So let's see. This is just going to add a little something something to the look. I'm going to go ahead and trim it just a wee bit more because I don't want that on there. And I got this one a little bit over here. I actually really like that. Okay, so I'm going to do another set. Just going to go ahead and do another set of those. And y'all can't see what I'm doing. This is the part I don't love. Trying to get this when it's so teeny tiny. All right, I kind of like it. It's subtle, but it breaks up a little bit of what's going on here, which is kind of what I wanted. And this one. I could sing a Christmas carol, but I think that I want you all to continue watching, so I won't do that to you. All right. I like that quite a bit. All right, so the next thing I need to do is go ahead and get my booklet down. Oh, don't. Yes, no, this is good. This is fine. For a minute, I was thinking, oh no, I was supposed to cut that. No, I decided not to. But now I'm thinking probably I should have because it's going to stick out. But I still can. If I'm quick and I don't cover it, I can do it like this. Really quick. And like this. Sometimes. All right, now this one really needs to go kind of as close to the edge, as I can get it. And hopefully it'll still adhere. And the reason I want it close to the edge is to give myself plenty of room. Dag, I'm having a hard time with this. I want to give myself plenty of room for that hinge. All right, let's see if this will still stick. The glue is surprisingly, yes, it dries fast, but it's still activated, even when you think it might be dry. As long as you do a good job of burnishing it. See? Because what I've done is I've kind of broken down the glue itself. It's almost like bursting little. Okay, and these came off, and that's fine. That is now perfectly dry. So cute. Oh my goodness, this is so cute. So I am going to put this little guy right there. And it's done. It's mostly done. Okay, so it still needs a few little bits and pieces inside, and that's fine because I have all of these wonderful pieces that I can put inside. So let's see. Let's use journaling cards instead of the to and from. I don't know why they did the to and from. So we got that one. Cute, cute, cute. And that one's going to need something smaller. And then I can turn the page. And I have that. And maybe this one. And then I've got that. And then for my big pocket, I have some of these great postcard sizes that I can slide inside. And that actually pretty much disappears in there, but it's easy enough to reach it. All right, let's take a quick look. Let's do a quick walkthrough. So it is all done. We have Just For You, and we have our credit card or gift card pocket, and then got some journaling cards or lists or anything. So we got more places for journaling cards, different people's lists, and then a place to keep your notes. And that goes all the way back here. Now, if you wanted to, so with the other one, I added something. So I am actually not going to add it to this one, but you could add something at the back just to make it a little bit more decorative. The one thing that I am missing at this point is something to go there. And I think I'm going to use 2 of these Merry Christmas to put on the sides. To finish up labels, because I think the labels are really kind of important. So we got that one, because we all put labels on our stuff. On our files, definitely. I would never know where anything was. All right. So I'm going to put this one here. This is really cute. And I might and try to center that one. And this one. Okay, so that one you don't have as much room as you do for this first one. And these would be easy enough for someone to cover up or put something else on them. I am going to add a little sprig here. I think that's cute. I like how it goes over there. Now it's done. All right, now it is done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I know it was super long. I will continue to try to get them to be shorter, but you know, when I'm taking you through the entire process, that's just a little harder to make them shorter, unless I start speeding them up, and then I'll sound like Daffy Duck. So, which is amusing for all of us. All right, guys, thanks so much. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe, hit the like button, send me a comment. I'm really excited to see where we all go this year. I'll see y'all later. Cheers.